Ladies and gentlemen of the Groove Nation, my name is David Lemon, and today I'm bringing you an interesting topic which doesn't have a lot to do with the page builder and the Groove funnels as a platform itself, but it has to do with you guys and how you run your businesses. So I know a lot of you and a lot of people inside the Facebook group and people that are using Groove funnels as their tool. They are not signed up for a premium or a branded service for their emails. So until now, I was looking for solutions myself on how to get the email forwarding done. There is a couple of ways to do it when you are going from your domain service, so basically from where you bought the domain to your hosting. That is no problem. It can be done very simply, and I will show you how. However, there is a couple of steps you need to do in case you want to have your domain transferred over to Cloudflare and then from Cloudflare to Groove. So this is what I will be showing you today. What this method that I will be showing you actually does is it just forwards the email. So for example, my name is David Lemon and I have a domain called Groove Lemon, okay? But I don't have an email address, a professional email inbox account that I'm paying for so that I have my email with the david@groovelemon.com, okay? But I have Groove Lemonade or sorry, for groovelemon@gmail.com. So why cannot I use just that and then forward my emails uh, from david@groovelemon.com to my free Gmail? And this is what I found a way how to do it, and this is what I will be showing you today how to do. So in case you are watching, please say hi in the comment section. I want to see who is with us today, and I believe a lot of people will be happy because this could save you a couple $100 in a year. So yeah, just introduce yourself. That would make me a very happy person. So let's just see. I have Joel here saying Lemon Legend, thank you very much. Eldon is watching us on YouTube. Eldon is on from New Zealand and also on Facebook. Eldon, hello David and all. I have here Ron is watching us. Hello David and Funnel Builders, awesome to have you here. Linda is saying hi David. Keisha Fox, good morning all. Awesome. So we have a lot of familiar faces over here. I believe this will be a highly visited video because it actually shows you how to do something that others need to pay for. You can do it also a free version. There are limits, and I will go through those limits and point it out. But there is ways to use this one, and it is a good way. Not for everything, but for a lot of different things. So I have Paul here saying hi, Paul from Jersey. Awesome, good to have you here. I have a Facebook user here. So in case you are you typed in the Facebook chat, hi David, like this one over here, please just head over to streamyard.com/Facebook and let me just share this link with you. So this is where you would need to go, streamyard.com/Facebook. Once you actually go to this link, you will just click one button, approve. This will let me see your face or actually the profile image and then your Facebook name, your Facebook profile name, so that in case later on you have any questions, I can actually say, yes, Karen, this is the answer, or yes, Eldon, this is the answer. Everybody else that you can see here, for example, Christine, she approved it. I have Wibber here. Namaste, David. Daphne also approved it. So everybody here approved it already, so I can see their names and I can see their profile images. For example, there is another Facebook user who I cannot see who the name and then the profile image from. They're saying, hi, David, I'm Baron from Singapore. It's good to have you here, Baron. Please head over to streamyard.com/Facebook so that I can actually see your name next time whenever you have a question, so I can answer it straight away. I have Rob, the man, the myth, the lemon bot. Awesome. Good to have you here, Rob. Yari is watching us as well from Finland. It's good to have you here, Yari. Chigo Sophie is watching us, saying hello, David. James is here as well. Hello again. Deborah Mains, Warrior Princess. Oh, I love this name. Hiya, Groovers. Carolee is watching us. Rick Blakely is watching us on YouTube. So we have a very good crowd over here. So Karen Jones is watching us as well, and Narasimha Rao. If I pronounced it incorrectly, I do apologize for that. Ilya. So this person over here, Ilya, is the reason I'm shooting this video today. He posted a very interesting topic inside the Facebook group, and I will point on that later on. But he pointed that in Cloudflare itself, where we actually have the domains pointed to, where we actually manage our domains so that we can have free SSL and faster loading sites and things like this, there's an app section. It's like the Play Store on your app or on your phone, or an app store on your iPhones. There is actually a full store with different kind of interesting things that you can do, and this is how I found this way, and I want to just introduce you as well onto this. This actually was asked from a lot of people. Why can I just not have my own free Gmail, for example, used with a brand with my custom domain if I own it already? It is possible, and today I will be showing you how. Awesome. I have Michael here. I have Amazon Marketplace saying hi. Yoshi, hello Groove Nation. Darcy Hall is watching us, and I have another Facebook user. So if this is you, please just head over to streamyard.com/Facebook, and please approve StreamYard to access your Facebook profile image and then your Facebook profile name. Okay, I believe we are ready to start. So I will jump on to the presentation. So there will be a lot of questions in regards to everything that we will be doing. This is not the easiest thing to do. There will be tinkering with DNS records, like domain name servers records, and forwarding emails from one email to another to set up the SMTP server in Google and things like this. I will try to go very, very slow and step by step so everybody can understand. However, there will be questions. And in case you do have a question, please keep the questions for the end. Or in case you want to just put it out so that you don't forget it, please just pop in question dash and then your question, like how to do this, how to do that, or at least just the minimum Q dash and then your question. This will let me see all the questions that are inside the comment section. We're streaming on live on Facebook and YouTube, and there is loads of you watching, so sometimes it gets busy and I cannot follow all the questions through, so sometimes I forget to answer them. So in case you have a question, please put question dash and then ask your question, or at least Q dash and then your question. Okay, so this will make my job a lot easier, and then you will get your answer more probably in case you do this one. So this is it, and I'm starting now. So as I mentioned previously, what we will be doing is actually, let me just show you. It will be the easiest if I show you. So I actually did this with a new email address. I registered a new Gmail address. As you can see over here, it's groovelemonade@gmail.com. This is my address. So what I can now do is when somebody sends an email to any email address on Groove, for example, groovelemonade.club, I will receive this email in my free Gmail account. So this is a free Gmail account. As you can see, we just started with Gmail. There is nothing fancy about this. This is something that you see everywhere. But I have connected it so I can send it from my free Gmail account or from my paid one. So now I can do david@groovelemonade.club. I have the groovelemonade.club as the domain inside Cloudflare. I'll show you in a moment. But I don't actually need to purchase G Suite for this sole purpose of using the email for sending a couple of emails. In case you will be doing with this email, in case you are doing autoresponder emails and things like this, I highly suggest you to purchase an inbox from G Suite or Microsoft 365 or any other that offers it. Most probably this would not work when you are using the same custom domain with an autoresponder. I'm not 100% sure, but I believe it will have a bit of a misunderstanding when you are doing that. Could be that it works, great, but I'm not 100% sure, so I cannot suggest that you do this in case you are also having the same custom domain using an autoresponder. Okay, so please don't ask me, will it work, will it not work? I'm not 100% sure, and I cannot say 100% it will be working with this platform, it will not work with this platform, and then things like this. But this is what we are going to do today. We will take our custom domain and then connect it through Cloudflare to Gmail. It seems pretty simple, but it has a couple of nuances that we will need to go through. So the first thing is actually get a domain. We have a domain here inside my Namecheap account, and I want to connect a new domain so you can see what is the process of doing it. So groovelemon.com is my domain that I will be using for this tutorial, for this purpose. I will be connecting it to Cloudflare, over to Cloudflare, and then from Cloudflare we will connect it with Gmail. So as I mentioned in the intro, there is a way to do email forwarding using your domain registrar. And in Namecheap, it is pretty simple. When you go to choose your domain, this is my domain now, groovelemon.com, you just scroll down a bit and then you have these redirect email section. It would be pretty simple, so we could use, like, in case you type in, for example, here, contact, an alias, and then you forward it to your free Gmail account. For example, this is my free Gmail account that I'm using for tutorials. So if somebody sends an email to contact@groovelemon.com, this is where it would go to. Okay, so this is how it works inside Namecheap. GoDaddy has its own, I believe, name silo, and others have their own email forwarding and email redirecting services, or basically basic services that you can do inside the domain registrar. You can also add a catch-all. So whatever they type in, so info@groovelemon.com or contact@groovelemon.com or 3xxy, I don't know what, at groovelemon.com, they would be all sent to the same email address. Okay, so this we can do also when we have forwarded the domain from the domain registrar to Cloudflare. But it is a bit more complicated, so let me just show you why. When we go to Cloudflare and then we want to add a site, we will add groovelemon.com. groovelemon.com. We will add this site into Cloudflare so that I show you the whole process. Okay, we choose the free. We don't want to pay for Cloudflare. We are happy with the free account. It does a quick scan of the DNS records. The DNS records are set up in the Namecheap, so this is what it is scanning now. As you can see, everything is set up from the Namecheap. We don't need to do anything here. We just click continue, and then we want this one. So name server 1, you copy it over, and then you come into this. I'm just showing for Namecheap. The same thing applies for other domain registrars. Okay, so we need to go to the name servers and do some custom domain name server, custom DNS. Okay, we'll pop in the paste in the name server 1 that we got from Cloudflare, and then the name server 2 that we got from Cloudflare. Here we go. Click this check mark icon, and then we are good to go with this one. Once it's set up, it says DNS server update may take up to 48 hours to take effect. It most of the times doesn't, but now we have done everything. We can just click done, check name service. Here, this is a very important step. So you need to go to make sure that the encryption is full, and then in case you're using Namecheap, just make it full. And in case you're using GoDaddy, I believe when you put it on flexible, then it works. If you put it on full on GoDaddy, sometimes it doesn't connect it. Always use HTTPS. This needs to be on, so whatever the customers type in, it will always show a secured site for them. Okay, and then we just click done, and basically that is it. Now we wait. We will need to wait for an email to come that Cloudflare has our domain activated. In the meantime, we can work with some other things that we need. So as I mentioned previously, I believe I just received the email. No, this was another one. So what I was mentioning previously, that Ilya Yazikov put a post onto the Facebook group into the Facebook group that inside Cloudflare there are some apps available. So in case you search through all these buttons, the not the last one, but before the last one, there is a button that says apps. So in case you go to the apps, you have couple of interesting things that you can use. So popular apps, then you can see you can add a like button, you can add share buttons and things like this. And then you go and see different things. In case if it is downvoted like this one, don't use it. If you can test it out, you can see what you can do with these. However, the one I found over here was something inside the, I believe, security. Let me just double check this one. Or yeah, I believe it was in security. So let me just have a look. Nope, it was a different one. Let me just search for it. So what I want to do is MX. When you type in MX, you will come to an email forwarding, as you can see here. And this is what I clicked onto, email forwarding, because I wanted to forward my emails. And then you can see here, it is a free app that you can use from Cloudflare, and you can just click preview on your site. So what it does, it actually says, so all emails sent to your domain to any address will be forwarded to the email you use for Cloudflare. Okay, so I use this Davidka email for Cloudflare. So there I will have all the emails redirected, but we can change that later on. So in case somebody sends info@yoursite.com or help@yoursite.com or mail@yoursite.com, it will be all transferred over to your Gmail that you used for registering with Cloudflare. Okay, so this is very cool to know that we have this inside Cloudflare. Once we actually click install on all pages, it will add on some records. But for this one to actually work, we need to wait until Cloudflare has taken up the details and updated between the domain registrar and Cloudflare itself. So let's just go down and then check it. As you can see, GrooveLemon is now active. We didn't receive the email yet, but it says great news, Cloudflare is now protecting your site. So the next step is to actually have Cloudflare connected to our GroovePages. So I prepared a site over here and I will connect with our GroovePage, or basically with our custom domain. And this will be this site over here. I have it published on a previous domain, but what I will do is groovelemon.com. This is where I want my site to be published. Okay, so I'll just leave it as it is and then go back to Cloudflare and delete everything from here. So everything in here is pointing to Namecheap. I just received the email that the Cloudflare is done, but we are already inside. So I delete everything here. And this is when you have your domain with Namecheap. Again, I see a couple of questions popping in. In case you have any questions, guys, please put a Q in front of it. I will be doing a Q&A session at the end of this training, and then you will be able to ask your questions and have answers immediately on them. But for now, just put Q in front of your questions so that I can see them later on. So that is it. Now I have an empty domain name server management platform over here inside, and we can just add the records that we need to have actually a site published onto this domain. So groovelemon.com. Okay, so we add a CNAME. So I clicked add a record, CNAME. We will use @ for the root. So we need these three over here. It says Cloudflare actually says everything that you need. Add a CNAME record for www, add a CNAME record for the root domain, and add an MX record for the root domain. So this is what we are doing. So CNAME record for the root, and then host 10.groovepages.com. This is what we need to target, to set up as a target. And this information we get from here. So CNAME record pointed to host10.groovepages.com. Okay, so CNAME @ okay, perfect. The first one is set up. Now you can see we only have 2 to go. we will set up another CNAME record. This will be for www, and then the target will be the same. So host 10.groovepages.com. Okay, save. Now the second one is done, and then we can add on the third one, the MX records. Actually, we will be setting up our MX records now, so we don't need the MX record. In case you're not setting up your emails immediately, you can set up an MX record, as I will show you now. So just MX at, and then you type in your domain. So GrooveLemon, my domain, and I will set it up as a priority one. Okay, so this is it. It will give you an error message that the record exposes the IP behind groovelemon.com, but this is not very important because MX record is for sending emails, so not much can be done with this one, but it is necessary to have Cloudflare work with your custom domain for publishing pages. So once I set up everything in Cloudflare, I can just simply publish my domain. And once it is done, once we get this green box that it was published, let's just have a look. So now it is published. We probably need to wait a bit, but let's just see if it published already. Yeah, so groovelemon.com, the page opens up. So now we published our site on the domain that we want. Now, the next thing is to set up the forwarding app. So we go to app and then MX. This is going to bring up the email forwarding app that we can see here, preview on your site, and then you can work with this. So install on all pages. What this will do is you don't have to actually tinker with DNS records. It will automatically set up the email forwarding over here. As you can see, it will set up the MX records and the TXT records that it needs. So you don't need to do actually anything with this one. So let's just click continue. And it is now adding on these records in the backend. So the DNS records that we set up are 3, but now as we installed this app, when we go to DNS records, you can see that it added on a couple new ones. So we have the TXT record, we have this MX record, and another MX record. So this was done automatically. We didn't do anything else. Now, if we want, we can delete this MX record that we don't need anymore, the one that is giving us the error. So we can just simply delete it as we set up our own MX records now. Everything is looking fabulous, and now we are ready to move on. So what we actually need now is to see where we can change the email. So if we go to my installed apps, so apps, your installed apps, we can actually see that this app is the forwardmx.com. So we receive an email from forwardmx.com. If we just delete it, here we go. ImprovMX, your ImprovMX access. There we go. So now when we set up this email forwarding automatically inside Cloudflare, we receive an email to the email address that is used for Cloudflare setup. So the email that you use to log into Cloudflare, this is where you will receive this email, okay? And it says simply click on the link below and you will be automatically connected. So when we click on this link, we can see that we have now accessed the dashboard of ImprovMX. ImprovMX is a forwarding system that is looking like this one. In case you are not registered yet, in case you don't have anything connected through Cloudflare or anywhere, this is actually a forwarding service that does exactly what we are teaching now. So you can create free email aliases for your domain name. So you can have your domain like piper.com, but you can forward the emails to richard.henriks@gmail.com. And you can do this one with a lot of your emails. And this is free. So there is also a paid version of it, but you don't need the paid version for what we are showing you now. So you can also set it up for multiple email addresses. You can set it up for your whole, I believe you can set up 10 different aliases for your company. So in case your name is, let's just take one, your name is Eric, and then you can set up eric@yourdomain.com as your email address. That will be forwarding to Eric something at gmail.com. Okay, but you can also set one up for your staff members. So for example, if you have a staff member called Anna, you can set up Anna at yourdomain.com, and it will be forwarding to her own Gmail address, for example. This is very cool, and I really like what they did here. And if you go to pricing, it actually explains you what you get. So with a free account that is free forever, you can have up to 5 domains, 5 custom domains, and every domain can have maximum 10 aliases. So you can have Eric at your site domain.com, your domain.com, or Anna at your domain.com, or actually 8 more of these. You can have 10 megabyte attachment limit, and you basically don't get a lot of support. You get email support, and you get normal delivery speeds. If you pay, you get some kind of a higher delivery speeds, but this is just the normal, because here on their main page it says that Gmail is the fastest of them all. So in case you're redirecting to Gmail, it will be very quick. In 2 seconds, everybody can wait to receive an email, I believe. So this is not a huge problem. So let's just see what we have when we actually clicked on that link from the email that we got once we set up inside Cloudflare our custom domain. Okay, so immediately we get something over here that is active. It says email forwarding is active. Let me just increase it here so you can see it better. We have a star at groovelemonade.club. So this is something I was testing previously. So I don't actually want the groovelemonade.club, but I want another domain that I connected, and this was groovelemon.com, if you remember correctly. So I can just add it on here. So groovelemon.com is my domain name, and my email address is over here. I can just add it over here. So add a new domain. So now we have groovelemon.com is set up. So this is the domain we got from Cloudflare that is actually connected to Cloudflare. And then we have set it up. When you see a star over here, this is a catch-all. As I showed you previously inside the domain name registrar, you can set up a catch-all with whatever they type at groovelemon.com. They will get, the email will be forwarded to my email address. Okay. But we can now actually, it says email forwarding needs setup. We can check again. And now it says email forwarding active. So let's just see, we will receive an email in 1 second over here that will be saying that it is set up on this email, free email that I'm using for this tutorial. And let's just see if it arrives. Okay. Here we go. So GrooveLemon was successfully added. So it says groovelemon.com is now forwarding emails via ImprovMX. So this is what is important. So now we can actually receive emails. Whoever sends us an email, we can actually receive it from here. So let's just test it out. I want to do an email that is, for example, Eldon at groovelemon.com. Okay, so subject will be testing service. No, let's just play with it, because we set up a catch-all, which is if I send it to Eldon at GrooveLemon, I should receive it on my free email that I showed you previously. So let's just have a look. So this is a test. Eldon, you are now a part of the GrooveLemon team. Woohoo! Here we go. I'm just having fun, guys. So Eldon at groovelemon.com, testing service. This is a test, okay? Sending message sent. So let's just go back over here, and this is my free account, my free email, which is davidka@gmail.com. And let's just refresh it a couple of times. So the email will be coming in. It just needs a bit of time for the forwarding to actually happen. It is pretty quick with import, and this is it. So it was sent from groovelemonade@gmail.com, and it was sent to eldon.groovelemon.com. Okay, you can see it was sent to this email address, but since we have a catch-all set up, we received it to davidka@gmail.com. So this over here is my email. So now the forwarding is working, as you can see. So this is the step one, and and this is basically now done using Cloudflare and this email forwarding. So we will actually not need Cloudflare anymore. We will not need the domain registrar anymore. We will not need this one. We will need the groovelemonade@gmail.com, because this is where I want to receive all the emails. So instead of receiving emails to this address over here, I can just simply change it to whatever I want, groovelemonade@gmail.com. Okay, so this is my other email address that I want to actually use for that one. So we can just send test, and it will be sending a test email to not this davidka@gmail.com, but it will be sending an email to my other email account that is a free Gmail account I just registered a couple of hours ago. And if we refresh a couple of times, we will see that the email will be coming in. This will be a test email from ImprovMX that will be saying, yes, your email is now correctly set up, or something like that. So we can click refresh a couple more times, or we can just work with something else. So what I wanted to actually explain, you can add on new aliases. So if you want, for example, to have info@groovelemon.com. So for example, info@yourdomain.com, and this one to be forwarded to somewhere else. So let's just forward this to, I don't know, let's just leave it on my other email. We can add this one, and now it is actually active. We can send out a test email just to see if it works. It will be working because it is now connected correctly, and it will be just forwarding to anything that we type it in. You can also set up one for Anna, as I said previously. Now she will be anna@groovelemon.com, and her email is, for example, anna.banana@gmail.com. So we can add on this one. Now she is actually set up, and if somebody sends an email to anna@groovelemon.com, the email will be forwarded to her free Gmail account. If somebody sends an email to info@groovelemon.com, it will be forwarded to this Gmail account. So this is how you sorry, if this is how you actually set up all those aliases. As I mentioned previously, in the billing part of this ImprovMX, it says that the free plan can hold max 10 aliases per domain. Okay, so this is something you need to be careful of. If you want more, you can upgrade. It is just $9 a month, and then you can have 100 aliases per domain, so you can use for your whole company. You can use this forwarding. Great. So let's just test if we received the ImprovMX email, groovelemonade@gmail.com. Let's just see if something went wrong. So groovelemonade@gmail.com. I believe I typed it in correctly. Let's just refresh. Here we go. So testing your alias, groovelemon.com is working. Perfect. So that is now set up correctly. So if we have a catch-all, and if we have a separate email over here, the catch-all will send a copy of an email to my email address, and then info will receive, for example, what I'm talking about is if somebody sends an email to info@groovelemon.com, it will be forwarded to this email address. But also, since we have a catch-all set up over here, it will be forwarding the email as well to this groovelemonade@gmail.com. So this is going to be sending 2 emails, and then we can actually test this out. Let me just open my other email account over here and just see where it actually goes. So let's just send a dummy email to info@groovelemon.com. Okay, so we'll just say info. Okay, and this is a dummy email. So let's just see actually what it does. So on this exact inbox, we should receive we should receive a copy of it because this is set up, this is forwarding. So info@groovelemon.com forwards to this email inbox where I sent it from. Okay. So as you can see here, it is saying be careful with this. Okay, so this is looks safe. It says that it was sent to info@groovelemon.com, but we received it in our own inbox. This is why it says that it is looking strange, but it says this is a dummy email. And over here at groovelemonade.com, this is where we set up, so groovelemonade@gmail.com, this is where we set up the catch-all. Let's just refresh it and see if we actually receive it. Theoretically, we should. It could just be a bit longer for it to propagate. Basically, that is it. Let's just leave this for now. We will receive this email sooner or later, I believe. However, the thing I wanted to show you is actually how you can send emails from Gmail. Now, when you actually go, you can only send from your Gmail account. You cannot send from your professional account, and this needs to be set up inside Gmail itself. Okay, the way you do that is you come into the settings and see all settings. Okay, that then the next step is to go into accounts and import, and then over here you can send mail as. I was testing this one previously, so I will just delete it. But for now, we have groovelemonade@gmail.com set up. We can add another email address, and this email address will be our branded email. So we can set up your name. The name will be actually the one that you see over here. So this person's name is ImprovMX. This name is Google. In case you send an email to somebody, it will say David Lemon or your name like Jeff Sauer and things like this. So this is the step where you are setting up your name. I'll just leave it as David Lemon, and then the email address I want to set up so that we can send from Gmail will be David at groovelemon.com. So treat as an alias is turned on, and then we can continue with the next step. So the next step needs to be, you will probably have different setup over here, but you need to change it to smtp.gmail.com. Okay, this needs to be in the first part of the SMTP server. Okay, then the port will be, just leave it as it is, 587, and then in username you just log in to your Gmail account. So if your Gmail account is something at gmail.com, you need to use the Gmail password that you are logging in to your Gmail account. So mine is already set up because I was testing it previously. So groovelemonade@gmail.com is my email address for this tutorial, and I have the password already inside. So you just leave it on this recommended option, secured connection using TLS, and you can click add account, and now it is actually set up. So I don't want to save anything here, but we are receiving a confirmation. Okay, so we need to receive a confirmation with a confirmation number that we need to pop in here. So as you can see, it arrived immediately. We just need to copy over this confirmation code and paste it in over here. It didn't go copy. And here we go. So now we have this number from the Gmail confirmation email copied over here to add another email address. And then when we click verify, it will actually work. However, I forgot to mention actually one important step. We need to activate the less secure apps. And then this is before we add the send as account in Gmail. I just went one step further. I will go back, don't worry. So when you are actually inside your Gmail, click over here to manage your Google account. Then inside the search, you can just type in less. You will see an option, less secure app access. You click on that one and you just need to turn this on. The less secure app is actually allowing you to connect the SMTP server to be inside Gmail. So this is nothing that you need to worry about. It is not a security issue. It's just that normally by default, Google or Gmail are actually blocking adding different SMTP servers. For some reason, they probably have their own reasons, but we need to actually allow less secure apps in order to add another account. So when you did this first, then the next step would be to actually add a send as account inside Gmail, which you just do clicking over to settings, accounts and import, and then you go to add another email, and then you set up everything as I showed you previously. So you go in here, you set up your name, you set up the email that you want to use to send emails from your free Gmail account. Then you set that up. Then you go to next step. You set up the SMTP server. You set up the, you just basically type in your login information for Gmail. You confirm you receive this confirmation number. You type in that confirmation number, and then basically that is it. So what this did is we have the send mail as. We have two options. We can send from our free account, groovelemonade@gmail.com, but we can also send emails now from our branded account, which is david@groovelemon.com. So you can also set up that this one to be used as default. So now you have the free account or the branded account. You can choose which one you want to make as default. In case you want to always send emails from the branded email, you can make this as default, and then whenever you open a new email, it will be the email that is showing up over here. Okay, so you can see when I open just a new email, and immediately the branded email is the one it will be giving me. In case you don't change it, in case you choose your free email address to be your default, when you type in a new email, it will be giving you the groovelemonade@gmail.com. So basically your free email address. So this is now set up. I want to send from my branded email, and let's just test it out. So I want to just send myself. So david@gmail.com. This is just a testing. I actually don't have anything better to say in these subtitles and then emails using in these tutorials, so I will just use this. So when we send, the message was sent, and I am sending it from my branded address, okay? And then over here, we should be receiving this email that I just sent in just a couple of seconds when the forwarding is done. So you can see here, david@groovelemon.com. This is just a test. So the name wasn't set up properly, or I'm not quite sure why it's set up, send it as David and not like this one. But we'll just need to see. When we hover over the email, or actually click on the email over here, we can see that the name is set up correctly. So I don't know why it doesn't show up properly, but that is not a problem. It is working, and we sent an email from our free Gmail account to and a paid, or actually paid custom domain and a branded email to a free account. So this is working. So let me now tell you about the limitations. As I showed you, now we have a free Gmail account with a different email address. So the limitations are basically sharing files from docs, sharing files and receiving files for Drive and things like this. So when you actually receive a Drive file from somebody, they will set the email up as, for example, share this file with david@groovelemon.com. Okay, but this email doesn't exist in the Google database, so it will not know what to do, and you will not be able to access it. So in case you want to actually receive Google Drive files from somebody, you need to make them, or you need to mention to them, please allow for anybody with the link, anybody that clicks the link to open the file. So if they type in just the, let me just actually show you why I'm not trying to do that immediately. So if I just want to share a Google Doc with, for example, this official GroovePages show and tell. I want to send and share to david@groovelemon.com. Okay, so david@groovelemon.com. Okay, and I send it. Now it has been sent, and you will see over here we will be receiving it in a minute. But now it has been set up, and it should come. For the reasons that david@groovelemon.com doesn't exist in Gmail database, in Google database, we will not be able to open that link because it was shared with david@groovelemon.com. But the Gmail account, the Gmail database, it reads that we are coming from groovelemon@gmail.com. So your free Gmail address. So you will not be able to open those docs. I'm not quite sure why this is not loading in right now, but it just probably needs some time over here. So yeah, this is something that is not great, but you will need to work around it and actually get the clickable links so that you can open that one. I believe we actually need to set up david@groovelemon.com to actually receive that one, because it was sent straight to that email address, but I'm not quite sure anymore. Let's just try to do that. So david@groovelemon.com. This, what? Let's just test it out, and then we will be good to go. But yeah, so for example, these kinds of sharings, and in case you share something with somebody, so you go and upload a file to Drive and you want to share it with somebody, they will not see the branded domain, they will not see the david@groovelemon.com, but they will see the free account, which is groovelemonade.gmail.com. So I'm just using these because this is how I have it set up, but you will have a different setup on your side. So this is what you will need to be working with. But yeah, these are the limitations. So the Drive and sharing files with one account and the other, this is not going to be working 100%. And for these cases, in case you are planning to do something like that, sharing files, I suggest you to do a G Suite account. So in case you really have to send Drive files and docs and things like this, you would need to actually set up a G Suite account. This is only for email forwarding, and it is not going to be a replacement for your G Suite account. I've seen a couple of questions. Will this actually replace my G Suite? It will not, because of these limitations with the files and sharing and things like this. This is only used for having a professional branded email on your site. But yeah, this is now, we set up the domain in Cloudflare, we set up Cloudflare with ImprovMX, we set up ImprovMX with Gmail, we set up Gmail to be able to send from that branded domain, and there is a couple of extra things that I want to actually share with you. So we tested it out and it works. I want to set up, I want to show you a bonus, which is setting up filters and labels in Gmail, which is very important when you are actually doing something that you receive a lot of these emails. You would probably need to categorize things on your inbox. So what Gmail has is categories for different types of things, but you can also set up your own labels. So for example, if you have a catch-all and this is the only thing that you have inside the email forwarding, you can have support. So for support emails or support, now let's just leave support tickets. So we created a new label. We can also manage this label later on, but it is actually showing up over here. You can click on it, you can add a label color, for example the red one, because support for some things needs a red label, we can add on a new label. So this will be for I don't know, info questions, like that. Create, and now we have another label over here, and we can add on a color. Let's just add it this pink or purple, and then things like this. So you can do different labels which will make it easier for you. For example, I now received this email and I want to label it as a support ticket. Now if we actually click out of the inbox, it is not appearing anymore, but it will be categorized inside the support tickets. So this is a very simple way to not have a cluttered inbox. So this will make it very nicely organized into these different labels and the categories, so that you can simply follow all the emails that you did, or the ones that you need to action. So inside the inbox, when you did and labeled all of your emails, all of your incoming emails, you will have actually an inbox 0, and it would look like this one. Like for example, when you delete everything, your primary tab is empty, and basically you will not have anything anywhere. So this means you are finished for the day. You probably finished all the responding to these emails, and then the next ones which will be coming in, you will need to clear it the next day, and then once you clear that one, it is sorted. So this is one thing that you can do with it. But I want to show you how to automate emails to come into those labels. And this is done using the next bonus. What I wanted to share with you is separating incoming emails using the plus sign. So for example, I have my username inside the Gmail, which is Groove Lemonade. Okay, but in case you add on info, it will be allowing you to categorize the info emails from different emails. And then let me just show you what I mean by this. So I want to set up, if somebody sends an email to info@groovelemon.com, I want it to be forwarded to GrooveLemonade plus info@gmail.com. Okay, so it needs to be username plus whatever you want at gmail.com. So we can actually test this out. It will be working because it has the username typed in. So we will receive this email very shortly inside here. But we can add on different filters. So let's just wait for it when it comes. And then we can set up a filter for emails that will be sent to your username plus something at gmail.com. Here we go. So this was sent, as you see, to info@groovelemon.com, but the actual email was sent to this one, GrooveLemonade plus info@gmail.com. So we can set up filters for everything that is coming in to info@groovelemon.com to go into, for example, info questions. So when you click on this email, filter messages like these. Into these 3 dots inside Gmail, filter messages like these, and everything that is sent to info@groovelemon.com, and create a filter. So the filter, I want to apply the label info questions. Okay, you can also skip the inbox, you can archive it immediately, you can star it as an important email, you can always mark it as important, you can categorize it as well in case you have different categories set up. I'll just leave it without a category, and basically you can do all kinds of things with these filters. So let's just set up a filter, and let's send an email from my other address over here. So we'll send an email to info@groovelemon.com. Test. This is a test. Okay, let's just send it and see where it actually comes. So this will have immediately a label of info questions, and it will be marked as important and it will also have a star and things like this. And here we go. So this is a test. Okay, it actually isn't labeled for some reason. I believe we missed something in the filters. Yeah, because I put it in the from section, not to a to section. So let's just edit that filter. It is my mistake, guys. So in the settings, we can come to the filters and blocked addresses. We can edit the filter that we set up, and we actually saw that the from email is this one, but we need to put it as a to email address. Okay, continue, apply this one for one matching conversation, and there we go. So now we will actually have the info questions once it is loaded. Everything that was sent to info@groovelemon.com, so it was sent to that email, not from this email. It will be categorized and it will be immediately tagged and labeled as info questions. Okay, it will show up also in your primary, because this is how I work. I like to have everything inside the primary, and then when I'm done, I can just click over here, the cancel the inbox, and then it is not anymore here. Once I actioned it, once I replied to it, then I can just remove the inbox filter, inbox tag, and then it will be going on to the other parts. So in case somebody is sending an email to support@groovelemon.com, I can have it sent to GrooveLemon aid plus support@gmail.com. I can add this in, and now I have it here. Let's just test it out. There is a lot of people that know more things than me inside Google. For example, Darcy is saying you can color code folders too. My Groove Digital folder, I color coded flamingo pink. Awesome. So you can have a look inside these tips and tricks with Gmail and filtering and things like this, but the point is to make your workflow easier to follow. When you come into a Gmail like this one, it is just something horrible, and this is just because my email address that I'm using over here is something that I use for training and tutorial purposes, and I'm not using it for anything else. But in case this would be my private or business email address, I would have it color coded and filtered and made sure that this is looking great. So support@groovelemon.com address is now set up. I can set up a filter. Filter messages like this, so not this one, but in case it was sent to support@groovelemon.com, I can create a filter to have it to apply a label support tickets. You can forward it to somebody. If you work with support staff, you can forward it to their email addresses. Never send it to spam, and always mark it important and star it and I don't know what. But you can create these filters very simply, and then if you get okay, so there is Miss Fox sent us a testing email to support@groovelemon.com. Awesome, thank you very much for that. It was actually not color coded because we didn't have that filter set up, but in case we go into the settings, we can actually have the filter to be applied to everything that we missed. So we can actually have this filter for everything that is sent to support.groovelemon.com. We can continue, and then we can apply filters to conversation. Okay, update filter, and as you can see, once it is done in the inbox, we will have these flagged as support tickets. So that is it, guys. These are the two bonuses I wanted to share with you. There are people that are not as good with Gmail and categorizing and actually having all these things automated, but using at least these two things that I just shared here, you can have a better workflow inside your email inboxes, and this could make your life a bit easier. And this is why I am here. I want to make your life a bit easier. But to make your life even better and more easier when you're actually setting these things up, I want to answer to your questions. So let's just see what the questions were. I could feel the pressure on David regarding today's class. Have a glass of water, please. You're doing great. Thank you very much, Valentine. I have actually a bottle that I usually keep next to myself, but thank you very much. I will be ending the stream quite soon, but I just want to answer everybody's questions first. Is it being recorded? Yes, it is being recorded. Immediately after the live stream is done, you can watch a replay. There is a question from Amir, trying to publish the custom domain, but Groove says domains unavailable. Why is that? Thanks. This is, Amir, because you are probably using it on other site as well. So in case you are having a couple of sites inside your GroovePages. So for example, you published, come on, really? So you published this site to the same custom domain and you published this site to the same custom domain. It will not know what to do and it will say just that the domain is unavailable. So you need to have one site needs to have one custom domain. Inside the site, you can have multiple different pages and multiple different things that you want to add on, but custom domain can only be one on one site. Let's just see. Question from YouTube stream. Valentine, by David, weren't you supposed to change that to SMLT? I mean the server. So smtp.gmail.com is the thing you need to type in, and this is coming. Here we go. So from Ilya, David is a rock star. Awesome, thank you very much, Ilya. So inside the settings, see all settings, and inside the accounts and import, when you are adding another email address, let's just do this one. So it needs to be smtp.gmail.com. So I will just share this one with you guys over here. This is what you need to type in so that your SMTP server is taking over and actually receiving and sending the emails. So this is important. But yeah, it is SMTP, not SMLT. Yeah, he corrected himself. But yes. Okay, let me just see. Curious. If I used my free Gmail to set up my custom domain in Cloudflare originally, what happens if I stopped after setting up the email forwarding in Cloudflare and did none of the other steps and set up links on my site that match the aliases that Cloudflare provides can be done? So if you don't do anything, it will be a catch-all. As you saw previously, it will just set up a catch-all. It will set up a star at Groove, basically at yourdomain.com or whatever you have set up. And in case you don't do any of these extra steps that I went through, it will be a catch-all that will be forwarding to your original email that is connected to Cloudflare. Let's just see what is here. So there is a question from Dominic. What is the name of this application, please? So there's quite a lot. I suggest you to go into Cloudflare, which is cloudflare.com, and then go from there the same way I showed you. So go to Cloudflare, and then inside the apps you can type in MX or email, and then you click on the email forwarding, and then you set up an account through there, because then you don't need to actually do all these domain name servers and things like this. It's just everything is done for you. Doing all this can replace using G Suite. I've been playing with G Suite, but not really sure benefit of it. So Darcy, as I mentioned previously, the benefit of G Suite is the actual setup of your staff members and not this one, sharing of your files inside there. You have other things that are the benefits, and you are not limited to anything like what you are here using this setup. This, what I'm showing, is for somebody that is starting out. In case you really have an up and running business and you are making money, investing $6 per month in a professionally set up G Suite account is not the end of the world, in my opinion. If you have really a successful business, go with G Suite. These headaches and these setups will be simplified and easily manageable. However, if you are just starting out, something like this could actually get you all the needs for sending and receiving the emails. And it is basically looking better than if you put just info at some, or basically something at gmail.com, because it is not looking as professional as it can be, and it is not a hard thing to set up. As you saw, I really did the whole process in actually less than 30 minutes if we don't if we don't see all the extra things that I mentioned there. So let's just have a look. There is a question from Rob. If you do a catch-all, does the email still go to the original email as well, or Gmail, or does it just go to the Gmail? So I believe we did a catch-all and then we tried to send something there, but it didn't come in. So I believe even with a catch-all, in case you send an info, it is not going to be sent to the catch-all address. I believe I said it will, but at this point we tested it and it is showing us that it is not coming in there. So that is the answer there. Question. When I want to set up Groove website and funnel on my www.mydomain.com, my Groove blog on my blog.mydomain.com, subdomain, and my GrooveKart store on store.mydomain.com subdomain, is it possible using Cloudflare and Groove, or would I need to buy 3 separate domains? So for now, Cloudflare and GroovePages are not together. These are separate entities. So for now, you would need to actually have a separate domain for your store and a separate domain for your GroovePages at this point. But GrooveKart is coming to be actually embedded inside GrooveFunnels. When that is done, you will be happy to know that you will not need 2 domains. You will be having only one, and then subdomains for your store, subdomains for your blog, subdomain for your, or actually the root domain will be taking over your website. But at this point, you would need separate domains. In case you wait a bit, you will not need separate domains. Question: when we reply to the customer, will it go by Gmail, email, or the custom email for the domain? So this was set up, I believe this was questioned. This was a question before I went through actually everything there. This is why I say that wait for the training itself, and then I will be mentioning most probably all your questions. Is this the same process for GrooveKart sites? For GrooveKart sites, it is a bit different, because in GrooveKart, that has an embedded Cloudflare inside GrooveKart. Let me just jump in there and show you. Oh, not this one. my.groovekart.com. Is you actually go to your GrooveKart store and you go to the domain section where you want to set up the MX records and things like this. It will not be as simple as what I showed you through Cloudflare. First, you don't have the apps section, so it cannot be done for you as simply as here, as simply as for GroovePages and for GrooveFunnels. And then the second thing is that you cannot have MX record modified yourself. So to add a DNS record and to add an MX record, you actually need to contact support, because whatever you do, it is not going to be saving it for some reason. So this was a security that was set up. So in case you want to have this one, you need to actually yes, you see, I believe this was just jumping over to loopslick. So this is not working 100% properly as it should. So in case you're setting up MX records in in GrooveKart through the embedded Cloudflare that is over here, you need to do it manually. So you need to register to improv.mx yourself, and then start by adding your domain over here, adding the email, and then it will give you all the DNS records. You need to just pop in to GrooveKart over here. So add on the TXT records, add on the MX records that are needed, and then you can play with that from here. But yeah, inside Cloudflare, for setting up our GroovePages, and the email for GroovePages is simpler because we have this app in there. So that is the question. That is the answer to that question. Great. Is this also possible with DNSimple? I have to go here if I want to get my domain name from ClickFunnels. I don't know DNSimple. I never used it, and I'm not DNSimple. I don't know what the features of it are, but in case you can modify your DNS records and things like this, then you can just do the similar thing. What we added inside Cloudflare, these MX records and the text record, this can be done also in other apps that are taking care of the DNS records. I'm confused. Is this only for those that don't have emails with their domain already? If I have an email with my domain, is there a reason I should be doing this instead of just using my existing emails I already have? Nope. This is only for those that don't have an email yet with a paid platform. Let me just go back to this screen. Okay, so I believe I went all the way up to this. When is GrooveKart coming to GroovePages? If you have a look at the infographic that was shared out by the last information, it will be coming out. Let's just have a look. So GrooveSell Marketplace. The all-new GrooveKart is September the 8th, if all goes according to the plan. There is a couple of things that are delayed in this rollout launch, but for now, GrooveKart, the all-new GrooveKart, is set up to be at September 8th. I'm not understanding why you would want to send your branded email to Gmail. Is this just a choice for or convenience? Is there a real benefit to send my regular brand? This is not for you, Rob. In case you already have your branded emails that you are purchased that you purchase from G Suite or Zoho Mail or Microsoft's 365, you don't need to do this one. This is for everybody else that only has a free Gmail account and a custom domain. So this is for those people. Question, non-email question, is there? Okay, so this Manny is not the best place for asking this now. Let me just see. This is reply to your answer. To me, even though someone is using Gmail, he is forwarding branded emails, so obviously they have branded emails. So just don't get why you would want forward branded to Gmail to make it look like you don't use Gmail. This is because you want to reply from a branded account. So for example, now let's just reply to Ilya. When you go to reply, you will be sending your email from your branded account. It will be david@groovelemon.com, and it will not be groovelemonade@gmail.com. It looks better. It looks more professional. If you're a business, if you are setting this up for your business, it makes sense. If you already have this setup, Rob, this is not for you, as I say again. Are you upload this course to see after? Yes, Carlos, you will be able to rewatch it. This will be an immediate replay available after this live stream has ended. Great. So let me just see if there are any other questions over here. I believe there are no questions so far. So guys, this is it. This is the setup of the email forwarding to a branded email using your free email account. It's quite a mouthful, but it is how you do it. So step 1, connect Cloudflare to ImprovMX. Okay, so in case you have your domain on Cloudflare, head over to apps, find ImprovMX or the email forwarding app, click on it and set it up. It will automatically set up all the DNS records you need and then send you an email, which you can just simply click the link from the email and then it will give you the access to the dashboard of ImprovMX. Okay. Step 2, test the connection. Once you set up all this email forwarding, test the connection if it is working. Step 3, activate less secure apps. So the less secure apps is when you go into your into over here. So click on your profile image or the image inside Google, manage your Google account. Here in search, just type in less. Okay, this will find less secure apps. Turn this on. Next step is add the send as account in Gmail, which you do by heading over to settings, see all settings, accounts, and import. And then over here, add another email address and then test. So test everything else. So test the catch-all, test the separate emails that you set up inside the ImprovMX dashboard, test everything. then you can also set up your filters and labels, and also separate incoming email using this technique that I showed you, so you have everything sorted there. But um, that is everything I believe that you would like to that you would need to know about setting up these emails. So I believe you are aware of how to set up your free emails with your custom domain. So that is it, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I believe this is one of our shorter videos on these live streams, so thank you one more time for attending it. We had a very nice crowd over here, but please come over to tonight's training with Tom Beal. We will be having a training tonight, so it is going to be at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or 12 a.m. Central European Time. So come by, watch the training. It is Tuesday, and Tom has prepared something awesome for you. So that is it, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and then see you on tonight's training. Bye bye.